Support services. In order to be a successful intercollegiate administrator, it is vital that you understand the various ancillary groups that help run the athletics department. These groups are necessary to epitomize the health of student athletes, focusing on their physical, mental, spiritual, social, and emotional development. Physical resources are the most familiar because of their history in athletics and their role in getting the student athletes to perform at their absolute best. Whether in season or out of season, student athletes are working on improving their strength and conditioning. The strength and conditioning staff designs sport-specific programs to push student athletes to be bigger, stronger, and quicker for competition. These programs are also designed to reduce the likelihood of sport-related injuries. Another ancillary group that needs to work hand in hand with strength and conditioning is sport nutrition. This group should advise athletes about eating a balanced diet and one that is nutritionally efficient. That way they get the most out of their workouts and have the energy to perform on and off the field. Sports medicine also falls under physical resources, but that will be discussed in greater length later in this lecture. Student athletes are students in a higher education setting. They must learn to juggle the demands of both being a student and those being an athlete. Academic support services vary by college, but generally include subject tutors, academic mentors, study groups, learning specialists, and academic advisors. Academic support personnel help student athletes navigate their educational journey, balance the demands in and out of the classroom, and help prepare them for the life after their athletic career ends. Another aspect of mental resources is sports psychology. A sports psychologist can help student athletes enhance their performance by teaching them strategies to help their mental self-talk work for them rather than against them. Spiritual resources does not necessarily refer to anything religious. It could include value clarification, value commitment, study, and meditation. In order to incorporate this area of development, some athletic departments partner with a sport chaplain to help student athletes engage in their spirituality. In order to foster social and emotional development, student athletes may be asked to get involved in community service projects, rope course challenges, workshops on interviews or resume writing, dinner etiquette sessions, and motivational and leadership seminars. These activities help expose student athletes to culturally diverse programs. Due to the increase in awareness of mental and emotional issues among current and former student athletes, athletic departments have begun using licensed social workers and licensed mental health professionals. These professionals can help assess, diagnose, and treat psychological and emotional issues and disorders. The sports medicine staff is responsible for providing exceptional care to athletes to get them back to optimal performance status as soon as possible without compromising their health or safety. The sports medicine staff may include athletic trainers, physicians, orthopedic surgeons, physical therapists, and dentists. Athletic trainers have the most interaction with student athletes and are also most likely to be full-time employees. A typical day for an ATC involves administrative duties, rehab and treatment, staff and coach meetings, pre-practice preparation and treatment, practice duties, and post-practice treatments. Other duties may include organizing and cleaning the facility and maintaining equipment. Budgeting and resource allocation is important when it comes to sports medicine. At Division I FBS institutions, the sports medicine budget could be greater than $1 million every year, and that is compared to D3 schools, which has a budget of approximately $250,000 a year. This budget includes ATC salaries, compensation for student assistants, facilities, purchase and maintenance of equipment, insurance premiums, and outsourced medical treatment. Facility space on many college campuses is limited, and it can be a challenge to acquire or build a space large enough to meet the needs of the student-athlete population. If building a new facility or renovating an existing one, it is ideal that the athletic training room be near the strength and conditioning area to enable a quick medical response in an emergency situation. As a sport administrator, you need to be aware that these facilities are part of the arms race in intercollegiate athletics. These facilities can be a selling point to recruits and their families. It is important to point out that spending money on updating facilities and equipment may be justified for placing a priority for the safety and well-being of student athletes. We live in a society that is often quick to involve the legal system. Therefore, it is critical to understand liability and risk management in relation to sports medicine. Resource allocation plays a major role. If an athlete gets hurt, who is responsible for paying for the medical services provided to the student athlete? The answer depends on the decisions made by the school athletic administrators. Some schools require all student athletes to be 100% responsible for their health insurance. On the other hand, some schools may cover 100% of the costs associated with medical treatments for injuries sustained during practice or competition. The second option results in increased insurance premiums for the school. In order to avoid potential issues, it is absolutely important that the sports medicine staff clearly communicate with student athletes and their families to explain this policy to them should an injury occur. That way, everyone is aware of whose responsibility it falls on. At some institutions, students may assist the ATCs. It is vital that administrators communicate with all ATCs, students, and legal counsel to ensure that student assistants stay within their proper role in athletic training settings. Another legal aspect of concern for sports medicine staff is traumatic head injuries such as concussions. The sports medicine staff is generally the first line of defense. It is important to diagnose and treat student athletes properly. If the correct care is not provided, then legal consequences can result. As far as the organizational structure of sports medicine goes, the majority of institutions house the department within the athletics department, like many other areas such as media relations and sports marketing. Other institutions that places sports medicine outside of the athletics department most likely places them as a division of campus health. Digital media services create graphics, videos, and various sites for an athletic department. These types of services have become an essential component of many athletic departments. Websites and social media accounts provide a unique opportunity for fans to view up-to-date information and feel connected to the school and athletic programs. Therefore, high-quality digital media make it likely that revenues will increase because more visitors to these sites provide more sponsorship opportunities. Digital media services help to build and publicize their brand in a manner of their choosing. One of the most noticeable things at a sports venue is the video board. External video production creates things that are shown to the public. These creations are used to stimulate the audience. Staff members are hired to produce content for use on the video board during events. These staff members may be outsourced staff or may be athletic department staff. Either way, they must have expertise in video editing and production. They also must have knowledge about the equipment and software. Most external video staff are trained on electronics. If staff is outsourced, they may face challenges, including access to coaches, student athletes, and facilities. Internal video services are productions not shown to the public. These staff members manage video from competition or practice and prepare them to be used in team meetings. Daily operations include capturing, editing, cataloging, and maintaining a video library from practices, competitions, and from opponents. Due to advancements in technology, editing and cataloging clips no longer takes as much time as it did in the past. Intercollegiate teams use several brands of game analysis technology, with the majority using Hudl. Most high schools use Hudl too. The operating budget for internal digital media services varies by school. Major D1 FBS football programs have an operating budget around $250,000 or higher. Another important area in the athletics department is equipment services. Equipment's role in the college athletics department goes beyond outfitting athletes. It includes marketing and revenue generating through innovative graphics. Oregon is a prime example of this. The three major equipment suppliers for intercollegiate athletics is Nike, Under Armour, and Adidas. Each school is able to enter into a contract with any supplier it chooses. It does not have to be one of the three I mentioned. Equipment contracts with suppliers can contain a variety of items. One item that you will typically see in this type of contract involves value in kind, or VIK, which means the supplying company agrees to provide a certain amount of equipment for athletes, coaches, and other staff members. In return, the supplying company's brand receives recognition locally, regionally, and sometimes nationally, depending on the school. Once the VIK limit has been reached, the contract generally allows the institution to purchase more equipment at a discounted rate. One other item that may be found in this type of contract is that the company may agree to pay a specific dollar amount to the athletics department. The demands of managing equipment inventory can be overwhelming for one person. Therefore, depending on the size of the school, full-time or part-time equipment managers may need to be hired. At major universities, full-time staff for equipment is a must. In fact, there may be 4 to 6 full-time staff members at a major D1 school, along with student managers. Smaller schools may be able to handle equipment services with just student managers. These student managers will have the responsibility of managing equipment for practice and competition. They may also be asked to help with the day-to-day operations of individual teams. Full-time equipment managers are responsible for maintaining inventory and communication with apparel company representatives. It is important to store, organize, and document the distribution of equipment to avoid any NCAA rules violations. For example, to avoid giving one athlete more equipment than others. That would fall under an extra benefits violation. Depending on the size of the school and the number of teams they have, the responsibilities of the equipment service staff will vary.